Hello everyone, welcome to Boxing Bants, home of Irish boxing, and it's Kieran here obviously with the current situation going on in the country and the rest of the world. My ability to get on the road and interview fighters is kind of at a halt, so probably the luxury of it is that I get there from the comfort of my own home at the moment, so going forward, for people listening, what I'm going to be trying to do is interview people on the live show, like Irish boxers on Wednesdays. I want to continue to try to do that show every Wednesday until this is obviously all over. Also on the side that I'm going to try to do interviews with other fighters abroad during the week through YouTube interviews, and put them up during the week. So far this week I've scheduled, I've Paulie Malinaji to schedule to be interviewed this week, but I've interviewed a couple of times now already before, and Paulie also put me in touch with Lo Greco. Phil is a very good friend of Paulie's. For people who don't know, Phil, welterweight, fought the likes of Amir, Errol, Spence, Shawn, and basically this interview coming up now, we speak about all those things. We talk about those fights, how he took them, how he got involved in those fights, and kind of speaking about, he was quite unlucky at times in his career, the way that the fights fell to him, which you do speak about. We also speak about him delving into a little bit of management, because he has been managing a few fighters a little bit now, and what's his current situation in the sport of boxing. So here we go now, ahead of the interview with Lo Greco. You turned pro around 2005, 2006. What was your decision in turning pro, and who did you sign with originally? Who was your management and your representative?
I signed with Jim. He bought me Shawn from Montreal. I realized that my style was more of a pro. I learned some things in the amateur games in Italy, in Europe. And when I turned pro there in Montreal, pretty much I self-piloted my own career. I managed my own career. I managed my own moves. Nobody grabbed my hand and walked me into these big fights. I walked myself into these big fights, and that's why I got into management now, and I'm managing fighters. I'm managing one fighter who I think is going to be the next Canadian superstar, not just in boxing, but out of Canada. And so why these fighters don't need to go through the struggle that I did, because I believe I'm an underachiever in boxing, especially if you were to get all the Italian boxers. I got to be the greatest underachiever ever, because I should have achieved a lot more than what I've achieved. I got myself to the big fights, but it wasn't the results that I wanted, and I gotta live with it.
You at the start of your career, you spent about 7 years pretty much building up a 25-0 record. On that journey, would you say one of your prouder moments was against Amir? You can probably pronounce the second name better than mine. Zemelchek.
It was in my hometown.
Because it was in Sicily,
it was in my hometown.
and you won the WBC International.
Yeah, and I set a goal to stop him, because this guy never been stopped in his 4 losses at the time, and I did. It was like I thought my career was finally gonna start the way it should be.
Yeah.
And instead it didn't. After that belt, because I had lack of management. They just didn't. They weren't people that I had around me. They couldn't pull the trigger and make great things happen for me and provide opportunities. Other than keep feeding me these bums for 6-round fights just to stay active. And you actually disarm yourself by fighting bumps. You don't arm yourself to the next level. And not to call them bums, but after the belt, I should have went to another level. But I was, getting frustrated, and then I got a chance to sign with Golden Boy. That's the only thing that they did. Got me to sign with Golden Boy. They didn't have the negotiation skills on how to carry a fighter properly to the big fights under the big lights. So, yeah. Just a lot of bullshit people around me I had my whole career.
When you fought Brandon Hoskins after that, who at the time was actually, he was only 16-1. He'd only just previously lost to Keith Thurman. Did you fight him after you signed with Golden Boy or before? After. And
I remember they were impressed how I stopped him in one round, and Keith Thurman stopped him in 2 rounds or 3 rounds. I can't remember what it was. And again, fortunately, I always had trouble making weight. I believe I should have stuck at a heavyweight class. But unfortunately, because I had a lot of layoffs, my career didn't really take off the way it should have been. And I still accomplished a lot with respect to others.
Yeah.
But I did it. A lot of things were forced. You know what I mean? I was forced into getting the Errol Spence fight in 2 days. I was forced into making the wrong decision when I fought Amir, and thank God the fight lasted 30 seconds or whatever it was, because I went in with a concussion. I could have died, and we probably would not be here doing this interview today. And I released a big article. So Men's Health has it. Men's Health wrote a big article on me about concussions and how I went on it. The Independent. You can look it up on Google. So, so a lot of stuff. The only time I had time to get ready was realistically where I was, because no fighter goes in there healthy. But the fight with Shawn was probably the most time I had to get ready properly, but I wasn't in my best. The best I was when I fought Errol Spence, and I took it in 2 days. And I was actually at my peak, where I wish I would have had 3-4 weeks notice.
The fight with Shawn Porter, you got 5 weeks notice, but are you kind of disappointed looking back in terms of, like, at the time, like, both of you were unbeaten. Shawn had only had a draw, but you felt that it could have probably been for a belt at the time, the way he's been built up, and
yeah, again, not having the right manager, that's what happens.
Yeah.
He could have done a lot. He could have negotiated a lot better. And this is what happens when you have, garbage people around you that don't have don't have the relationships, and they don't have the influence to pull the trigger for their fighter.
After that fight, you had about 2 years out. Were you contemplating walking away from the sport at that stage?
Yeah, because I just kept getting the same stupidity over and over again. I said, well, I'll make more money if I go to work than actually do this. And then I met Sam Watson, and he was able to convince me to try again, and I'm glad I did. And I had a lot of success economically with those guys. So I'm glad I did, and they opened up more doors, and I was able to build more relationships today as well. And that's why now I started my management firm, because of those relationships that I've built, and I'm confident that I can help fighters to the next level, to fight the level that I did or greater.
When you came back, you beat Rafael Cobos, and you wanted to build some momentum, but then you got the Errol Spence fight in 2 days' notice. Errol Spence, his opponent pulled out, and you got the call. I've read about your conversation on the phone, how it happened. Do you want to tell people about your experience those 2 days, how you tried to cut the weight for the fight? Do you want to tell everyone about that?
That was the worst. Was the worst experience ever. I don't wish that upon anybody. I mean, I get the call. Make a long story short, I negotiated weight to 150, 152, 150 originally. And I was up like maybe 167, something like that, 165.
When you got the phone call, you originally thought you were weighing at 156 at the time, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because you were training with Jesse Vargas at the time, if I'm right. You were preparing him for his fight.
I was on peak, man. I was even wearing bigger gloves because they didn't want me to have regular sparring gloves when I was sparring Jesse. I was on, and you could see from the fight when I went in from the first round, I was confident in the fight, but obviously I gassed out because the circumstances that I was in. And when I took the fight, I went through hell making the weight. And then I was down to 152, and I told them, I said, guys, either you take me like this at 152 pounds, or if you want me to fight at 150, put me back in the sauna. You guys want to kill me, leave me in the sauna, because that's what's going to happen. And they agreed finally at 152, and we took the fight. They took the fight. We agreed, and it happened.
How did you cut the weight? Was it all water? Were you starving yourself? Like how did
there's no food.
Just no food.
No.
Oh.
No, it's all water, brother.
After that, then, look, after that loss, obviously, Errol Spence went on to be world champion and that. Did you kind of sense that? Did you feel that after you fought him, that he was going to go on to beat the people that he beat?
Yeah, I kind of did. And I'll kind of give you this assessment. I knew the kid was talented because he was a softball and he throws great body shots as a softball. It's kind of rare to see that in boxing. Softballs really don't. There hasn't been many softball weight body punchers in boxing. Realistically, not a lot. But he does, and he sits down with him, and I was very impressed. And the headshots weren't bothering me in the fight. Watch it. The body shots a little bit, yeah. I was just fucking gassed out, tired, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's bittersweet for me because I know I could have given it a lot more if I didn't have douchebags trying to get my career. So I did this on my own. I self-piloted my own moves. I picked who I wanted to pick because I couldn't trust anybody that was going to get me there. I got myself to fight with Khan. I got myself to fight with Errol Spence. I put myself in those positions. I got myself in the positions to hire people to try to help me. It was all me. And through that, I've learned, wow, I can really pilot and manage someone to a bigger level because they don't get to do what I did because I already did that. So I'm taking this into a positive. I said, man, if I got this far, doing it on my own, on the business side, imagine what I can do for someone that I believe in, of course.
About a year later, after you came back and beat Pablo Munguia, you fought Joseph Alege, who was 15-2 at the time, who actually hasn't fought since, obviously, you two guys fought each other. But how did that...
story about that guy.
Sorry?
Yeah. Pretty much, I'll tell you the story about that guy. I fought him in his hometown. I was desperate for a fight on him, and they set up a fight. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. It's in his hometown. I don't care. I'll beat him. The referee should have stopped the fight in the second round, but he didn't. The guy was out. He lasted to 10 rounds. And if that fight would have been anywhere else but his hometown, I would have got the decision. When I went back, that was a war of a fight. If you get a chance to see it, a lot of people were saying this is the best fight of the year that many people don't know about. It was tough, and when I went back to the change room, I said, man, this guy is never going to fight again. I took his heart, I took his soul, he's never going to fight again. It's funny, because I seen him a year later, 2 years later in Vegas. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Whatever. I'm like, hey, man, hope all is well. I'm like, you know what? I had a feeling that you were never gonna fight again. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, man. That was my gut feeling. That was the last time you were gonna fight, and that's how it happened.
Was it because how you hurt him in the second round? Was that what was making you think that?
No, we just went to war. I just really we went to war the whole 10 rounds. See the fight. It was actually very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I should have got the decision. And from then on, I just didn't care anymore. Like, I was just like really, I'm like, where do I go from here? Then I got another win. And then the Amir Khan fight was just, I didn't think I was going to get it. I was just taunting him just to keep my name around. Because I was not in no position to take the fight because I had a concussion symptom.
Mm.
Then I get the fight, and I'm like, what do? I'm not going to say no. I made an unprofessional decision that could have cost my life. I kept it inside me and kept my tongue I held my tongue for 2 years, and so because I was getting a lot of heat from the fans, and I'm like, I'm gonna come up one story with facts because I have facts to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a story, just to save a life or two for fighters, because there's a lot of fighters that are not taken seriously from the trainers when they have these symptoms. This is a topic that it's not addressed enough.
Mm.
But they address it in the NFL and football. Why? In NFL, the intention is not to hit you. In boxing, it is.
Mm-hmm.
See what I get with that?
Yeah. Of course, yeah. The intent.
I mean, why doesn't Amir talk about concussions? He doesn't want to talk about concussions.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck no. Why would he talk about concussions for? If he talks about concussions, he's going to scare off people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm in the management business now, but I'm not stupid enough to put my fighter in there when he has a concussion. Mm-hmm. And I know the symptoms because I had it for 2 years. This shit lasted.
Mm-hmm.
The symptoms lasted for 2 years. I had to get an eye surgery. I developed strabismus in my eye. This is the worst time of my life.
Mm-hmm.
From June 2017 to 2019.
The concussion that you had going into the camp fight, was that from sparring? Was it from...
Yeah, when I was basically, I fought in Niagara Falls in my hometown against Gorola.
Yeah.
Who was just an opponent that I should have knocked out.
Mm.
And they convinced me to do this fight. It's kind of the weekend. I've never fought at home in my life. It's been so many years. You haven't fought in Canada since you were an amateur. Do it, Phil. I'm like, look, I'm overweight, man. I don't know if it's a good idea. Do it. I go to the gym. I'm over 30 pounds overweight. I think I had like 7 weeks to lose the weight. So dehydration takes a toll.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dehydrated. And I was sparring. It's not like I was hurt. It was just like a shot, not even hard. I continued the sparring. Then after the sparring, when I left, it was after sparring, I started feeling like shit, and I kept going, and I didn't know what I had. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I'm dehydrated. I don't know. So I fought that fight with a concussion, fresh concussion, and then the symptoms lasted all the way past to my last fight. So there's 2 times there where I put my life in danger, and I'm glad that nothing happened, and I'm fully built. I'm clean as a whistle, and I'm okay.
The symptoms that you had, I like people don't realize why you wore sunglasses to the Amir Khan press conference, but because you couldn't look at a bright room or bright light. But what other symptoms were you getting from the concussion?
Confusion, tired, fatigue, sleep, depressing. like a lot of confusion. Blurry vision. I had that. Yeah.
The getting emotional. Some people, boxers in the past, they said when they had concussions and stuff, they would get emotional after like sparring. They'd have a spar and then they'd feel really emotional after it. Did you have the same experience?
Yeah, I started crying after one sparring match. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm not feeling right. Then I was at times when I was coming back from the gym in Vegas when I was getting ready for my last fight with Khan, I was crying. I'm like, how do I get out of this situation? I wanted to get out of that situation in that fight, but I'm like, if I go ahead and do that, people are gonna think that I'm a pussy. I got no balls. So I did that because of pride. But I was very emotional, man, crying.
Yeah. When you took the Amir Khan fight, it was just announced that he'd signed 3-fight deal with Eddie Hearn, and you kind of, if I'm right in saying, you kind of campaigned for it. Your team kind of campaigned to get the fight by calling him out on social media and all these things. Is that right? Were you just trying to just keep mentioning his name until eventually got the fight?
Yeah, pretty much. I just taunted him on my Instagram and Twitter and so on. But I guess that's all you have to do to get a fight, and it is what it is. I got it. I really didn't want to go and train for it, but hey, you get it. It was just a bluff, and he called my bluff afterwards.
What was your mindset going into that fight? Because even though you had a little bit of time out, like he had quite a long time out, do you think you were trying to catch him on the slide, getting older? Did you think?
Yeah, pretty much. Hit him with one shot. I was in no position to box. Mm-hmm. No. I mean, I trained. I got in great shape physically. Externally, I looked great, but internally, it was a disaster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Following the fight, like still having the concussion and everything, like what happened? Did you? I know you had the operation for the strabismus, your eye, because your eye was kind of giving you bother. Did you have many procedures after? One. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny that Eddie Hearn never addressed this story. Eddie Hearn cares about Eddie Hearn. If he cares about boxing, he would address the story, how important it is for fighters to go in there healthy. Mm-hmm.
Did he know you had the concussion going into the fight?
No one knew. I kept it No, nobody knew. Only myself.
Yeah. And
I kept it to myself. I didn't even tell my family nothing. Mm-hmm. That's how stupid it was.
Mm-hmm. I think your story is kind of like the one, when unfortunate things happen to the boxers like Patrick Day and things like that, people kind of blame it on the actual sport in terms of, when you get in the ring, you get punched in the head, etc., etc. But it's also, in case of Patrick Day, like, people are getting put in the wrong fights, the wrong time, the wrong position, the wrong management, like, when they put in the fights the wrong time. Would you agree with that? That you were kind of that case as well? You were just getting poorly looked after as well.
Of course. I mean, look what happened to Patrick Day. I mean, after all these fighters started to come out, I started dying. And then whatever happened to Adonis Stevenson, that's also a friend of mine. It's 1 o'clock. I would have felt like a coward if I never came out of my store and actually stepped up to the plate and share my story and tell people, look, this is what could happen to you. And this is what could happen to me. Even furthermore, I could have died.
Yeah. Since that fight, have you ever had any intentions of coming back to boxing, or do you think you're fully done with it?
I like the idea. love the idea, man. I love the idea of fighting again. I love it.
Yeah.
I just hate the idea of actually going to the gym and training. I'm staying in decent shape. I haven't ruled out a complete retirement yet, but I'm not campaigning for any fight at the moment. I'm just campaigning for my fighter that I'm managing to be the next superstar.
Mm. So I was just going to ask you about that. So you're in managing fighters at the moment. I know you've got one at the moment from Toronto. What weight is he? What's his name? Pro, amateur, or?
His name is Lucas Body.
Yeah.
He's 9-0, 9 knockouts. He's a boxer, puncher. He can hit.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, he can hit. He can box. He has all the tools that are. He's the manager's dream, basically. This guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's the manager's dream. He's got great work ethic. Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. Contrary to me. He's a guy that got screwed by not going to the Olympics for Team Canada. He was knocking out every guy there in the national level, and the national coach kept screwing him out, sending the other guy for whatever reason to do the Olympic qualifiers, and that's why not too many people know about him. But he's beaten a lot of good guys in the amateur games, and I think his next fight, I'm going to try to get him a championship title to bring him the top 10 in the world. I mean, this kid wants to go ahead and fight anybody. Lomachenko, Garcia, Davis, Haney. He wants them all. And if it's up to him, it'll be today, but it takes time. He knows that he's got to do. He has to take the right steps to achieve those fights.
Is he a lightweight at the moment? Am I right? I'm saying, or super featherweight?
He's a lightweight.
Yeah. Okay. Have you mostly been promoting him in Canada at the moment? Has his fights mostly been in Canada and the US?
No, his fights have been in Canada and in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, this kid hasn't made $1 fighting. He's paying his way.
Right.
Basically,
okay.
He's buying slots.
Mm-hmm.
He sees a card. He goes, tells the promoter, "Look, can I get a fight? I'll pay the opponent." Boom. And till I stepped in, he's a friend of mine. He's from my same city, so I'm blessed that he's from my same city.
Yeah.
And he's gonna go far. I got all the people interested in him.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone.
Are you thinking of maybe are you gonna?
MTK.
Oh, MTK. Sorry. Yeah. Biggest.
I've talked to what's his name?
Jamie Conlon.
No, he used to be a boxer, lightweight. What's his name?
Thomas Stalker.
Stalker.
Yeah.
Nice fella.
Yeah, nice guy. Scouse. Liverpool guy. Yeah, he had a good amateur record as well.
He likes him a lot.
Yeah.
My father.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. But yeah. So, would you think maybe like in Canada, one thing that you have a great record of doing with certain world champions and whatnot is promoting them in Toronto and not having to move them away. You look at like the Lucian Buttes, Donna Stevenson, never really left their country, but always sold tickets.
Though. That is in Montreal.
Yeah.
That's not in Toronto. In Toronto, you gotta leave. It's Montreal, but the problem is it's a double-edged sword. In Montreal, you gotta learn how to speak French, or else you're not accepted.
Okay.
They're racist there, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I had a problem myself. That happened to me where I was asking directions in English, and they were saying, and the lady goes to me, "We're in Montreal. You speak to me in French. No directions." They're racist.
Jeez. Wow, I was there before, but I don't think I mustn't have spoken to enough people, but crazy.
I mean, they're not racist Irish people, but there's a lot of race because you don't speak French there. They get pissed off.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah. So essentially, you're just in the management game now. Do you think I know at the moment as well? You're running a YouTube channel, which is actually doing quite good, isn't it? It's called Culinary Arts. Is that right?
Culinary Fighter. Yeah, I haven't used it for a while. I did season 1 where I traveled all over North America interviewing the fighters over their favorite foods. Then I started a podcast, and it takes a lot of time. I got a little girl that I got to raise. I'm watching it right now as we speak, so it's taking a lot of time out of my day, but I want to go back at it soon.
Yeah, yeah. What if you could look back now at your career, what would you change? Do you have any regrets? Is there anything you do differently?
Many regrets. Many. I would have never... I would have just probably went to Vegas. I went to Vegas too late. I was 30 years old when I went to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I would have... Basically, I would have done the moves that I did when I was 30, when I turned pro, when I was 21.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just... But those experiences also helped me become who I am today in the boxing world and build those relationships, because maybe I would have had someone that would have took my hand and walked me to all the big fights. Maybe I would never had those relationships with those people in the business world of boxing, because that's what I always wanted to be. I'm a business guy, man. I always loved business and always looked at the aftermath after having a boxing career. And yes, there was a couple of changes I would have had. I couldn't say regrets, but a couple of changes that I should have had. But because I didn't have the luck and fortune to have the right guy, like a guy like Sam Watson or Al Heyman at the beginning of my career, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. In terms of the people that you fought, who would you say was the best fighter you fought in your pro career? Because I know it's difficult for you because Shawn Porter
was like,
sorry.
I don't like. We sparred also. It's on YouTube, and this sparring, it was a whole different situation. This was 2 years later. We sparred when I moved back to Vegas. I met him up. He goes, "Hey, let's spar." After he beat me, I'm like, "Yeah, man, I was staying in shape." I would say probably. Probably Porter or Spence. I would put Porter first, Spence second.
Would you put
Spence? I was able to hit him and land better shots, and I was only 2 that you noticed. Porter had these bullshit movements, and he was a shorter fighter, and I don't like fighting short guys. It's a toss up. I can't say I really Amir Khan because I don't count that as a fight. I don't count that. To me, that fight never happened. I don't even remember it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's how concussed I was. So to me, that situation never happened in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, and last thing I would ask you: any message to anyone out there during this pandemic, as we're having, anything you'd like to say to any of the boxers at home, pro Irish boxers, or anyone, just the public in general?
This is where my message is, this is where you actually practice your mental toughness. If you're a boxer, this is how you practice your mental game, where you're going through these hurdles and you're going through these hiccups. And use this for your mental game, because there are going to be times in boxing where situations stall and it's not in your control. So what you do is you practice. Pretend that you were in a championship fight and it got canceled for whatever reason, and it's going to be rescheduled. Use this for your mentality. Use this for mental toughness.
Okay. Right, well, Phil, I think that's it. I really, really appreciate your time, taking time out of your day to speak to me, and hopefully we'll be seeing you again with Lucas.
Yeah, all right, I appreciate it. Thanks for the interview, Mike.
No problem. Thank you very much, Phil. Thanks.
So bye.
Bye. So there you have it. Phil Lo Greco, really nice guy. Enjoyed speaking with him, and definitely a lot of things to think about. Then when he speaks about his concussion that he had in going to the Amir Khan fight, and you see him speaking about, some of the regrets he had. Mostly you can see it's the people that were around him, people managing him, the fights that he took at certain times, that kind of that hampered his career, and that's probably some of the regrets he says he has. But really, really nice guy, and I hope you really enjoyed the interview. Thanks.